Hi, I'm Greg. Welcome to my van adventure. Um, so I'm going to start with a small video that I already recorded, and then I'm gonna get on with explaining the rest of the last 10 days. I'm not sure what this used to be. I mean, obviously it used to be a road, but it's completely overrun and the not maintained or anything, and it's just beside the highway. I don't know, probably an old road that used to lead somewhere and now it doesn't. um, so I left Kenora yesterday. uh, just before leaving, I uploaded the video, and I just want to add that there is a lot of parking space in Kenora. I couldn't stay there because I didn't want to pay, because there's a lot of parking space, and they're even kind of very friendly with uh, the van dwellers. They have a specific parking spot for them. It's just that it's $8 for a night or something like that. It's a little bit like paying for camping, um, but you're in town, in the middle of the town, in an asphalt parking lot. Anyway, um, so I got to this cute place. I say cute, but it was really just basically a sand pit, and sandy enough that I was afraid of maybe getting stuck there. But I you know, I decided to tempt fate, and I just went down there with my van, and in the end there was no problem, but it was really really sandy. It's the kind of place that you would uh, you would probably especially in summer, you would probably see a lot of ATV and motocross. um, it's a really nice place for that kind of stuff, for testing your limits in the sand. So bit quiet. It was pretty. It wasn't just by the highway as some of my other places were, so it was quiet. And yep. And today I'm actually, well, technically, map wise, I'm in Manitoba right now. Uh, on the highway, I went by the entrance for this place. I completely missed it, and I actually went by the sign saying "Welcome to Manitoba." Um, but and then I came back. The entrance is on the Ontario side, but the place where I am right now is actually in Manitoba. So, yay, I made it. So one, well, two down, couple more to go. um, yeah, so I'm gonna stay here just for one night. Probably the next few stops is just going to be one night. I'm going to try to get those stops close together, close by, so that you know I do small small amount of kilometers, so I can stop every day. It's not really good for the batteries though, because I can never get the full charge back on my power bank, and the laptop is never fully charged. Anyway, right, so see you tomorrow. So after that, I I there's going to be a few days there. Actually, quite a lot of days there that you're not going to have any video footage from for them, because they were, pretty dull. I was I've been really tired in the last 10 days, and some of the places I've been are a cause for me to be tired. But yeah, the places were like truck stop and rest area. So the the sleep really wasn't that good. So yeah, I've been pretty tired. Um, so yeah, all of those places, I'm just not going to mention them. I'm just going to talk about the interesting place, uh, like the abandoned road just before. Um, After that, I went to I followed a road. Um, okay, before that, some people think that I don't experiment. I just take uh, iOverlander and select the places that I can, and then go from there. It's not true. I actually did try a few places. It's not always successful. I mean, most of the time, it's not successful. There must be a reason why they're not on iOverlander. Like in this case, I followed the road for a little bit. I thought that I had seen on the highway that it might actually be interesting. There might have been a clearing further on, but yeah, there was something in the way. So, I was pretty sure that the van would not pass under that tree. So I backed out. Really not my specialty, backing out, but anyway. Yeah. And after that, I went to. There was a spot that it it sounded good, but the picture wasn't interesting on iOverlander. But I decided to go and check myself, and I followed this really long dirt road to get to a place that was basically just on the side of the dirt road. But it was pretty far from the highway, so the interesting part was that it was quiet. There was basically no cell reception, but that I can live with that. Um, and yeah, it was an interesting place. Um, After that, I went to the city of Saint Anne, and the campsite basically was there was an retired people home, and a cemetery just close by one to the other, and in the middle a nice little park, and I mean really nice little park. And that's where I slept. and I was I was confused a little bit because I really didn't think that's the kind of place where you would end up having people staying there. But I didn't get any knock on the door or anything, so it was fine. And it really was a nice place, and that's when I noticed, hey, we're in autumn. Like the fall, the leaves are falling and they're getting yellow and everything. So that's when it kicked in, because before I had seen it, but that's when I realized, wow, the grass is full of leaves. um Now, do you believe in fate? Do you believe in destiny, or just you know serendipity, uh happy coincidence? Well, I'm not exactly sure on that, but uh you know there's absolutely something that happened to me, because I was going off on the side of the highway. So most of the time here, there's a small road just on the side of the highway. And so I was on that road because I thought that, you know, uh, I might get to the next place really, really soon. Like, I wasn't ready to stop at 10 a.m., right? So to make the trip longer, which is something that most people don't actually think about. I mean, for me, I see construction and I'm like, yay, that's going to be more time for my battery to recharge, right? Um, and then I have trips like that day where I'm thinking, well, I need to slow down somehow. I'm on the highway. I can't go at 50 kilometers per hour. So I'm going to have to find a way to slow down just so that I can get to the next place, uh, you know, not too soon during the day. So I was on that road and I saw on the side of that road something. I had reached the middle of Canada. I don't mean the middle of my trip, because back at the beginning of the video, I had already crossed the middle of my trip. Like, I'm going to show map of Canada. Uh, so I started in Quebec there. I made it all the way to where I am right now, which is basically in the middle of the screen, but and I have the rest of the trip to do. Uh, that first part is already a few hundred kilometers past the middle point of my trip. But I made it to the middle of Canada. So from the complete east part of Canada to the complete west part of Canada, I crossed the middle section. That was interesting. I mean, it's not like it's important or anything, but I thought, hey, this is weird. I just passed the middle of Canada. So yeah, it was serendipitous, because I didn't mean, and I would probably have missed it if I had been on the highway. So it just I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And just after it, there was there was a truck, a farming tractor, graveyard. I don't know what it, why it was there, but it was interesting. I stopped there and I looked at the tractor. Some must have been 100 years old or more. I don't know. It was weird, interesting. After that, I actually got stopped on the highway by a cop. First time that happened, that happened to me in at least 20 years. Um, the guy came by the window and was like, "Oh, homes on wheel. That's interesting. You have a nice setup." It was really nice guy. So apparently my van was flagged in Brandon, which is a town that at the time was at least 100 kilometers further west, and I was going west. So the cop even told me, like, I'm checking, but it's really weird that you would have been flagged in a town last night and you're going back there today, this early in the day. Like, he wasn't really believing it or anything. He just had to stop me. Well, which makes it a little bit stressful for today, because I did reach uh, Brendan, and am I going to have a cop come at the van today? I don't know. So yeah, I got to Portage, Portage la Prairie, something like that. Portage, which means to take a canoe, put it on your shoulder, going from one river to another, or crossing. Anyway, um, it was interesting. The place where I stayed was, they called it an island, but really it isn't. It's just that there's water going around the place, but there's a bit of land on the other side that they're not using. There's no road there, but I don't know. Maybe it's a marsh. I don't know. Anyway, it was really nice as well. It was basically a parking lot on the site of a really big park, uh, and it was really interesting. Well, I walked a little bit around, and well, there was a lot of geese there as well, uh, as there was previously in Kenora. Um, so yeah, so very nice place as well. Very interesting. Um, I had to take notes because somehow the last 10 days just went really fast, and I lost track of time. Um, oh, the last place I was before coming here was a small rest area. I didn't film the other one, but that one was, it had a little bit of charm. So I filmed it, and 5 minutes after I got there, when I got there, I opened the windows, opened the door, because it was really hot yesterday around here. So I opened everything, and not even 5 minutes after, there was like at least a dozen fly inside the van. I don't know where they spend the rest of their day, but they saw a van and they say, "Hey, vacation! Yay, let's go! Let's have some fun." So there was a lot of action, flying action in the van yesterday. It took, when I decided that enough was enough, it took a while to get them all either dead or out of the van. it was um, it was interesting as well. And today I got to Brandon, which is basically the last big town uh, in Manitoba. So this video almost ends the same way as the other one. I'm getting to the last big town of the province. After that, it's going to be Saskatchewan. Um, but I'm not going to be in Saskatchewan as quick as the space between the last video and today's video. Um, so I got to Brandon, and when I was coming here, I'm at the Wallmart today. when I was coming here, I saw teepees on the side of the road, and I was like on a small park, well, a small big park, and there were teepees there, and I'm like, what the heck? And I I remember reading most of the place I've been. I don't know what's with Manitoba, but there's very seldom good cell reception almost anywhere besides in towns. Like it's not like there's mountains or anything that's going to block the signal, but I don't know, maybe they just don't put towers or anything. But there's a lot of places that I just didn't have any cell reception. But I did get a few days when I was able to read that there's this uh, truth and reconciliation thing that's they're trying to make sure that it's going to be a statutory holiday or something in Canada. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, uh, I do have roots in the Native American people, some of my ancestors, but I've never actually been really uh, too interested in it. So I don't know a lot, but I know that it has to do with the Native American. But the teepees and everything is for today, the 30th of September, which is the day that they have this truth and reconciliation. The holiday is supposed to be the 30th, but there's like a week all around it. But yeah, so that's the reason why the teepees were there. I talked with a few people there, very interesting people, very friendly. Um, People are often asking me, what's it like to be in Manitoba? Well, there's a lot of asphalt, there's trees, and there's it is flat. It's not something that people made up. It is really flat, and I've I've had trouble with my GoPro lookalike. Um, the the there was a setting inside that basically meant record if there's a movement or something like that, which is weird. Well, I mean, it's probably good for sports because the camera stops when there's nothing happening. But for me, it meant that I would start the camera in the morning for my drive, and there would be just a few bits of 8-second long videos or 1 minute long video, and in the middle of nowhere, and the camera would shut down after 3 minutes or something. So I did a lot of video, a lot of footage on the road, but very few actually made it. But I did get this, which was, uh, how flat and uh, how Manitoba looks like from the car. So I did not actually purposefully go out, out of my way to avoid Winnipeg. I actually thought that the highway was going through Winnipeg. So I set up the camera, which at that point I had managed to find a way to get the setting right on my GoPro lookalike. So I just set up the camera and was expecting to at least show you a picture of me going through Winnipeg, but that didn't happen. The GPS made me go around, and I have a pretty nice long video of the highway, but not Winnipeg. Actually, if you look really closely, you might actually see Winnipeg in the distance. Did you miss it? Yeah, it was there. That's it. That's Winnipeg. That's how much of Winnipeg I saw. So yeah, so I made it to Brandon. Um, well, like I said, even at the beginning of the video, I had already passed, or I was at, or just past the halfway of my trip. Um, so it took 2 months to get 2 months and a half to get here. Well, two months to get to the half point. So that could mean 2 more months for my trip, which is not ideal. But I'm pretty sure I can do it in a shorter amount of time. The thing with you know, the timing is that I need to cross the Rockies on the west side of Canada. I need to cross the Rockies before it snows on the Rockies, because I don't have chains for my tire on the van, and chains are required to cross the mountains when it's snowing. Obviously, if it's a perfectly sunny day, even if it's in the winter, if it's a perfectly sunny day, probably you don't need the chains. But you know, it just to be on the safe side, ideally I would need to cross the Rockies before it snows. Also, temperature question. You know, it's obvious that well, it's obvious for me because I've read about it, I've seen it, but it's a lot warmer on the west side of the Rockies. So I might be I might have like minus 25 Celsius on the east side of the Rockies. You just drive 3 hours west and it's 15 Celsius. So so you know, obviously I'm going to try to make it to the west side as soon as possible. But for this next month, um, I think I'm aiming for Regina in Alberta. That would be that's achievable, and that should put me, you know, once the month of November begins, I can try to drive as much as I can. So even though I did what I did so far in 2 months and a half, um, in the beginning of November, I might do, you know, I might cover a month worth of driving distance, because I'm going to be in British Columbia, which is the goal to get there. So yeah, so I think that beginning of November I should be in British Columbia. But in the meantime, I'm going to wish you a very good day, a very good Truth and Reconciliation Day as well. And I don't know if the video is going to come up today because my laptop is a little bit drained and I don't have more gas to put in the car until tomorrow. So I'm not sure I'm going to make the electricity to compile the video and everything. So I'm not sure the video is going to come out today, the 30th, but you know, I'm going to try to do it as quickly as possible. So if you like the video, subscribe, click the thumbs up, and tickle the bell if you want to get notified. But you know, I'm not sure how well that works apparently. So but yeah, see you soon.